I think I had a run-in with a skinwalker last night and I'm afraid it might come back. By Redditor Teabags. This entire thing happened last night and I still don't know how to feel about it. I'm honestly still shaken up. I'm afraid that my dogs might get hurt, or even my family. So I've come here in search of advice as to what I should do now. It must have happened around 8-ish, when my mom's girlfriend called me downstairs. She had asked me to help her burn some of the boxes we had lying around in the kitchen so we could clear up some space. We live in a pretty small house, 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom for 5 people. I have 2 younger sisters, one I share a room with, 12, and the other, 10, sleeps in the living room most nights, and we live with my mother, her girlfriend, who is very mentally ill. Mind you, and my dog Kobe, about 2 years old, Valentine, who we've had for 6 years, and their 3 puppies. So there really isn't a lot of room to go around and we could use that extra leg room. So I agreed and we took the boxes out from the house and into the backyard. Our backyard is the biggest in our small neighborhood and is not fenced in. And we are also one of the only houses on the block that has a shed, which is identical to our next door neighbors. Our driveway reaches over to our shed, and since the yard is open they both sort of connect. Anyway, while she was breaking said boxes down and lighting them on fire, I'm not permitted to use the lighter. I was putting Kobe out on the chain to use the bathroom, don't worry. His chain doesn't reach all the way across our yard and he was far away from the fire while Valentine is roaming around the yard. The fire goes fine and we burn about 2 or 3 big boxes with no problems. Everything was very under control and we were even having fun with it. Around the end of the fire, when the flames had started to fade away, Kobe started running back and forth from the driveway to near where we were, barking frantically and trying very hard to get off of his chain like he was afraid and was warning us of something. When this happened, I also noticed that Valentine was growling in the driveway. So I got up and walked over to him to see what was wrong, and I smiled and asked him what's the matter, in that sort of baby voice. But while I was standing there, I got that feeling. You know, the one where you know you're not alone. I could feel someone's eyes looking right through me. I looked over in the direction of Valentine's barking, and I instinctively yelled "Oh my God" at what I saw. There was this inhuman-looking thing standing in the driveway only a few feet away from me. Despite having the light from the back door being open and the fire nearby, this thing was completely black. All I could see was its bulging eyes staring right through me, never wavering. It was so thin and tall, standing much taller than the small shed at the end of the driveway. Easily 7 feet tall. And God, I could just feel that something was completely off about this thing. Some voice in the back of my head was telling me this thing wants to hurt. It's so angry, and it was like me and this thing were having a staring contest. I heard my mom's girlfriend ask me what was wrong, and I looked away for just a second, and it was gone. Completely disappeared, but I could still feel its energy looming around. When I told mom's girlfriend what happened, we put out the fire and we brought the dogs inside. I ran to my mom and told her the same thing I had told her girlfriend, and she tried to give me logical explanations to what I saw, but none of them really made sense. She must have seen that I was afraid and wanted to comfort me, but her excuses gave me no comfort. After that, I went up to my room with Kobe and I tried to shake off that feeling that thing had left me with, but honestly I couldn't. I was struggling for a while. I stayed up there talking with my boyfriend for maybe 15 to 20 minutes before I heard my mom calling for me from downstairs. Her and her GF had gotten into a fight and she had locked herself in the bathroom. Mom was fine with it and simply told me to keep an eye on the food while she went to pick up my sisters from their friends' houses. So I said okay and went to do so while she left out the front door. Not even 2 minutes later, my mom comes rushing back inside and I hear her walk into the hallway where the bathroom is and say girlfriend's name. There's something standing outside watching the house and my heart sank. She finally believed me. So GF comes out from the bathroom and says that she had seen the same thing trying to peek into the windows from the bathroom. And she immediately ran to their room to grab her metal bat and she ran out the back door, screaming, "If anybody's out here I'll bash your fucking head in," at the top of her lungs. Regardless of the situation, my mom still had to pick up the kids. So I walked her out to the car, then quickly retreated back inside and grabbed a hammer from the closet. Kobe started slamming himself into the back door, screaming bloody murder out of absolutely nowhere. I had never seen him do anything like it before. So reluctantly I put him on his chain so he could protect the GF while she was on the lookout. While this happened, I hid myself in the bathroom, since it's one of the only rooms in the house with a working lock, and I called my grandma who was at work and told her everything. She's a huge believer in this kind of stuff just like I am. So she listened to what I had to say and tried to calm me down since I was absolutely losing my shit. I am normally a pretty mature and rational person, but I just felt so unsafe and everything felt off. Just when things started to calm down, the girlfriend comes running into the house and tells me urgently that something had broken the basement window from the outside and she was afraid it had gotten into the house. So I hung up on Grandma after saying goodbye, had 911 on speed dial, and we went to check. Didn't see anybody. Searched around the house and nearby and found nothing. It was like this thing was taunting us. The kids and Mom came back and still things had seemed to cool down, but I could still feel that off and uneasy feeling. Like it wasn't actually gone. Like it was waiting for the right opportunity. Grandma had called me back to say that she would be taking me to her house for the night, as I'm homeschooled unlike my sisters and it wouldn't be an issue. The kids would sleep upstairs with doors locked, Kobe with them, and the hammer I had from before. Grandma came and picked me up after work, and on the way to her house she told me that while I was explaining all this, the hairs on her arms had stood up and she could feel the negative energy that I was telling her about. Like she knew exactly how I felt when I said something was definitely wrong and unnatural about this thing that was tormenting us. Later on this morning, I got a call from Mom saying that after I left she had invited some friends over to keep her company, ones with conceal and carries, and she had went to grab something from the kitchen, which is where the back door is located, and she heard Kobe's chain rattling outside and something's weight shifting on the back porch right next to the door. When everybody was inside and Kobe was upstairs. I don't know. Laying in bed and thinking about it, I think that this thing was trying to latch itself to the dogs, and that's why Kobe felt the need to be outside. He's been keeping very close to me since I've come home, and I have been very wary about going outside by myself while it's dark. I just came here hoping that someone could offer some sort of advice as to what I should do. I've dealt with paranormal stuff practically my entire life and this feels completely different. If anybody knows what I should do, please reach out or comment on this post. I'm desperate to protect my family.